Guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I have got some insider shit for you guys right here. Honestly, if you stay to the end of this, I'm actually going to help you significantly boost your actual close rate when it comes to your sales calls for your social media marketing agency or your consulting business. It doesn't even matter what sort of business you have, as long as you know you need to set a call, take that call to sell your service, to then sell your service on that call. If your business requires that kind of method where you're doing outreach to set a call to then sell on a call, this is gonna significantly help you guys. So basically guys, all I want in return for this video is drop a like, comment, subscribe, just basically help me out with the algorithm, because again, this is all for free. I'm actually going to be jumping into my computer, but long story short, I want to premise this by saying, guys, look, I figured this stuff out quite a while ago. This is nothing new, it's nothing sexy, but I can actually almost guarantee that you're probably not implementing this, even though you know you should be implementing this. It's more of an advanced strategy, guys. Well, technically it's not really an advanced strategy, it's just a strategy where you can kind of build up the back end. I'll get to what that means in a second, guys. So let's jump straight into my computer, right? So let's talk about your actual breaking down your sales calls and actually warming them up before you actually even get on them. Now, this is a really good strategy. Obviously, I'm assuming you have a good offer, you have a niche, you have a strong, compelling sales script as well. Obviously, those are kind of like assumptions in this particular video. So what I'm actually going to be doing is talking about what happens between when you book in a call with somebody, aka a prospect, to when you actually take the actual sales call with that prospect. Now, I actually like to call this pre-warming up the calls, and this is something that a lot of people do not talk about in the SMA space. Now, this basically is for people that are basically booking in calls, right? So you're booking in calls with your agency, your coaching business, your consulting business, but then when you get on calls, you're always getting asked for like case studies, like live case studies. Can you show me case studies? Or you're getting asked for references. You're just getting asked for case studies in general. Or it's for those that basically jump on calls and your calls feel extremely cold. They're not warm at all, and it feels so awkward, and it feels like you're having to basically prove yourself to the prospect on the other side of the call. So if you feel like this, right, on your actual sales calls, there's a reasoning behind this. It's because the calls are obviously cold. You're actually, for example, you're setting up meetings, you're sending out outreach, you're setting up the meetings, but when you're on the meeting, people are just continuously asking for references. They're continually asking for live case studies in general. And it just feels overall awkward because it's so cold, and you're just basically getting kind of like, it feels like you're below them, if you will. It feels awkward, feels cold, doesn't feel nice, and you're not closing. Now, I've actually got a kind of like way to actually help you with this and significantly boost your close rate. So make sure you stay tuned, obviously. So let's talk about the traditional way of kind of like booking calls in and taking them. I'll try to keep this video short, by the way, guys. But long story short, here's a traditional way that we're all kind of like taught in the SMA space, in the coaching space, right? So the traditional way of booking in calls when you're doing outreach is this. You do outreach, typically without using the hybrid system, that is, by the way, which is already a broken system because it takes so long to do lead sourcing, prospecting, first line writing. But that's a story for another day. If you want to learn all about the hybrid system, go to Age Mutation. It's still open for enrollment. Just watch the video. It'll basically explain what on earth the hybrid system is. But long story short, the hybrid system is basically building out a outreach team to do outreach for you, so you don't have to do lead sourcing, prospecting, first line writing by yourself. All of that stuff is taught inside Age Mutation. It is open for enrollment, but enough plug in because this is a story for another day. So long story short, the traditional way of booking in calls for your agency, right, looks like this. Number one, you start doing outreach, whether that be cold emails, cold calls, cold DMs and stuff like that. It's all cold. You then start landing few meetings of, cold outreach. It can work, and it does still work. I'm not saying that. This is not the point of this video. It still works. It's just that when you do cold outreach, you're coming from a position of kind of like weakness. It's almost like an interrupting kind of like method of getting attention from somebody. AKA, let's say you're reaching out to e-com brands. I know that a lot of people like the examples of e-com brands or any brand or any type of business, to be honest with you. But let's say you're reaching out to them via cold email. Now, what's going to happen is you're starting this agency, you're going to create like a burner domain or whatever it is, and you're going to send out an email, right, to a business owner. That business owner doesn't even know who you are. They don't know where you're from. They don't even know anything about you, basically, is what I'm trying to say. So you've actually interrupted their day to try to get them on a call. They then reluctantly are going to get on that particular call because they know that a pitch is coming their way, basically. Now, that's if you have a strong offer. If you don't have a strong offer, you're going to land a few meetings, but I'm just assuming that you have a strong offer and you know how to, write cold emails and that sort of stuff. What's going to happen then is you're going to get on those meetings, but then you're not going to be able to close those meetings because you're so cold. I keep seeing this so often, guys. I see the first struggle with people is they don't know how to set meetings. Then they figure out how to set meetings, but then they don't know how to close that meeting. They do have a good sales script, and they've, you know, maybe had some little bit of sales experience under their belt, or maybe none, but still you should be able to close at least 15-20% of your actual calls if you're actually decent and taking sales seriously, and you're recording them, you're actually training yourself and reading books all about sales, which I do recommend. The only problem though is that most people aren't actually genuinely okay at sales. I mean, you don't actually have to be the greatest at sales. Now, granted, I know there's people out there that are gonna be like, I swear and live by sales and whatnot. That's not the point of this video. But long story short is, I keep seeing over and over again, a lot of people, they're actually able to book the calls, right? It's just that when they do get on the calls, it's cold. It's so cold, it feels awkward. So this is kind of like traditional method, or what people do. They do outreach, they land a few meetings, they then get on those meetings with a few people that actually, you know, actually turn up and actually, you know, book in a meeting and actually turn up. They then can't close those meetings because they're just so cold. They then get asked for, you know, and the reason for why they can't close the meetings is normally because they're getting asked for like references. Can I see some of the past, can I speak to some of your past clients that you've previously worked with, which is called a reference, or they're asking for case studies or just live proof on the call. Now, on the call, by the way, you can actually create like a pitch deck to actually, obviously, a pitch deck is kind of like, think about this. Don't just wait for the objection to come up. Handle the objection before the objection comes up. And what I mean by that is when you're on a call, right, what you can do prior to this, knowing that you're probably going to get asked for proof and evidence and case studies, why not just go and get a media buyer and leverage their case studies and put that case study in like a nice presentation that you can build on like Google Slides. It's completely free. You can do that. Just put screenshots in and explain certain things, or screen recording videos, because those are even better proof. And just have those ready on your desktop or something like that to pull up if a client does. That's already one. That's, by the way, that's kind of like outside of the scope of this video, but like literally when you're on a sales call and somebody asks you, you can have already like a pitch deck kind of like already built where you actually walk through a case study if you will live on the call. So that's a really good idea first and foremost. And again, that's not really part of this video, but I just wanted to throw that in there anyway. So you get asked for references, case studies, and live proof on the call. Then what's going to happen is you feel awkward because you might not have them, and it will feel like you're trying to continuously prove yourself to this particular prospect. And then you're going to have literally zero leverage. So if you've got no case studies or anything like that, not only that, but if they don't know who you are and you're just booking a call with somebody and you've gotten that call, because you've actually done cold outreach, it feels like you're below them. It feels like you have no power, and it feels like you have zero leverage. You've got nothing to work with, if you will. They don't know who you are. They don't know your name. You've not built a name. They've not even seen any case studies or anything like that. So it feels like you're below your prospect on the call. Now, this actually might kind of like, I know a lot of people do this as well. They have like a 2-call or even 3-call close, just because they're so cold on the first call that when you're actually speaking to the prospect, they just don't know if they can trust you or not. They don't know if they can take your word or not. So they go away, and then you book in a second call with them, and then you try close them on the second call or even the third call if they're actually, you know, really reluctant to get over that line and sign as a client, guys. So the process then continuously repeats. This is a broken process, guys. Like, think about it. You do outreach, land a few meetings, you get on those meetings, you can't close because you're getting asked for references, case studies. You then feel awkward because you've got no power, no leverage, and no nothing on the call to like back up your claims. You then have to sometimes take 2 to 3 actual calls with that same prospect just to get them over the line. And then it's a rinse and repeat process. Guys, what I'm trying to say here is, why not, right? Figure out that this is a problem in your business and then do something about it. Now, this is where this comes in, guys. This is the new way that I literally, again, this is technically, I call it the new way, but technically it's not new. This has been around for pretty much ever. I want to say pretty much ever, but not a lot of people actually talk about this. And I guarantee you've probably heard about it before. You've probably even seen it before. You're probably on many people's list, in fact. There's a spoiler alert. But long story short, guys, I can guarantee you're probably not implementing this in your business, even though you know you probably should. Now, here's the new way. Take a look at this, right? Here's kind of like the new way that I want you guys to try out, right? So the new way is this. So when you do land, so again, it obviously starts with outreach. I'm just gonna put outreach in here. Outreach to set meetings. Hopefully you're using the hybrid system. Hopefully you're using the hybrid system, the HS, hybrid system. Hopefully you're using the hybrid system. Again, the hybrid system is completely irrelevant right now. I'm just talking about the meetings in general. Just talk about meetings just real quick. So what's gonna happen is you're gonna land meetings, right? And when you land these meetings, here's the kicker, here's the difference. When you do land the meetings, right? What you're gonna do is in your calendar software. So let me actually get this extremely clear for you guys. So like when somebody comes to you, when you actually do outreach, right? And then somebody replies back to you saying, yeah, let's jump on a call, Montel. What you do is then you send over your calendar link, right? Your calendar link is, Acuity Scheduling. That's a software you can use for handling your calendars and getting calls booked in. Or you can even use something like Calendly. Now, it doesn't matter which one you actually use because both of them could be integrated with MailChimp. I don't know if they do it directly, but I just use Zapier anyway because I just got Zapier for multiple automation tasks. If you're not familiar with Zapier, guys, Zapier is basically like a tool that lives in between two tools. What I mean by that is you can connect it with, for example, when you get a new lead on a Facebook ad, you can connect it to Google Sheets. So Zapier is basically like a tool that allows you to combine two tools together, and it automates a certain process for you. So what you can do in this particular case is when somebody books in on your actual calendar, so somebody actually books in on Acuity Scheduling, what happens then is Zapier will put them as a new subscriber into your MailChimp or whatever sort of email software you're actually using in the back end. Again, I probably recommend using like MailChimp or MailerLite because those I think they've got like a free plan if you've got like less than 1,000 leads or something like that, which most of you should have less than 1,000 leads unless you're like a bigger agency, of course. Now, what you want to do then is you want to have a pre-built flow of emails that go out to your prospects. Because think about it, guys. It normally takes about, I've heard anywhere from 15 to even 25 different touch points for somebody to actually sign up and actually become a client of yours. And a lot of people are just trying to do cold emails with 4 follow-ups. There's via Lemlist, by the way. These are like your front end emails, by the way. Lemlist and MailChimp are 2 different things. Lemlist is like a cold email automation tool, whereas MailChimp and MailerLite are like autoresponders. So like when somebody signs up to your list, you send them over emails. Like when you go to, I don't know, somebody's website like HubSpot or something like that, and you sign up and then they send you those weekly newsletters and stuff like that. That's what you would use MailChimp for and MailerLite. So don't get those two tools confused. But basically what you will do is, in this particular case, a new way is you do outreach and you land meetings. So let's say you have a kind of like prospect booking a call with you on Monday, but it's for Wednesday. So there's a couple of days in between there. In those couple of days, don't just sit around, guys. I want you to pre-warm up your calls by having an email flow, send out certain case studies and stuff to your actual potential client that you're actually going to get on the call with so they can see what you're about. Don't just sit there knowing that you're actually going to get on this call completely cold. Do something about it is what I'm trying to say, guys. So what you can do is you can have a pre-built flow of emails that A, introduces who you are and what you do. B, build your credibility. C, it basically provides case studies and proof of results. So you already have shown them proof of results before you even get on the call. Again, guys, handle the objection before the objection even comes up. This is what we're trying to do in this particular thing. So we're trying to warm up the call before we even get on the call. Then also D, it will actually, you can actually provide certain emails that actually break down any limiting beliefs they may have. You can even include certain things in there, certain lines in there, certain just proof and evidence that basically separates you from other agencies. You then will basically warm up the actual prospect before you actually get them on a call. The idea of all of this, by the way, guys, like having a pre-built email flow, is to warm up your prospects before you get on a call, so that when you do get on a call, they're already warm, they've already seen case studies, they don't even need to ask you, which is why this is how you're going to significantly increase your actual closes. And not only that, but it's going to eliminate you from having to have like 2 calls, 3 calls, because when they get on the first call, they've already seen a whole bunch of like case studies and stuff like that. Not only that, but even if the lead doesn't, even if you don't close the particular client, right, I still want you to put them in an email flow. So let's say you've got an email flow already set up in MailChimp. Somebody books in a call with you on Acuity Scheduling. Somebody books in a call. Zapier then puts them into your list. I'll show you what the actual Zapier integration looks like right now on the screen. So this is what the Zapier integration looks like, just real quick. So all you have to do is go to Zapier. I believe you can actually get a free account. So what you want to do is just connect Acuity Scheduling with MailChimp, and then when a new appointment is booked in, you basically add/update a subscriber to a certain kind of like list, and that list already has a pre-built email flow going out. So that everybody gets the same email flow, but basically you want to build it out as if you're warming up the email, you're warming up your prospects. Not only that, but you want to continuously keep them warm by continuously hitting them with emails, maybe like 2-3 months down the line if they don't become a client. And that's how you're going to start building a longer term agency, a longer term coaching business, guys. Now I'm in the middle of obviously recreating all of mine right now, so I'm not technically practicing what I preach, but long story short, I technically already do this, via these YouTube videos. The YouTube videos are the exact same thing. All it is putting out content so people know who you are, and you kind of like are proving, and you're showing people certain proof, evidence, you're building up a kind of like your name. Because I know that a lot of people just send cold emails and that's it. You send 4 emails to a prospect, they don't book in a call, and you just disregard that as a, you just disregard that lead. Or somebody books in a call and they don't close right there and then, that's it. You just go your separate ways. Those are wasted leads, guys. Don't waste any leads. Now, all of this, right? The aim of this is to significantly increase your chances of closing a prospect on the very first call, because they're actually going to be warm. Can you see what I'm talking about, guys? Hopefully you can kind of see the difference. This one is just like, you get a call booked in, you get on a call, it's cold, you don't close. This one, you land meetings, you get them, you basically send them over a whole bunch of case studies before they even get on a call with you. They look at that sort of stuff, they see who you are, it builds credibility, introduces you, breaks down limiting beliefs, separates you from other agencies, and warms up the call before you even get on a call. And then you get on a call, and it's so much more easier to actually close them. I would still, build a what you call a pitch deck as well. So when they're on the call, you can even still back it up just in case they didn't see your case studies and stuff like that. Or, by the way, just real quick, I should actually mention this. By the way, this can actually be done manually by hand if you do not want to pay for MailChimp or MailerLite. I don't recommend doing this by hand, to be honest with you, because it's going to be like, well, eventually it's going to get tedious. If you're booking a lot of calls, it's going to get tedious to send out the same emails just to different people. But you do, even if you want to take this at like a lower scale, and you're at a lower scale right now, when you do book in a call with somebody, or somebody books in a call with you, should I say, make sure you send them over some sort of relevant case studies or some sort of email, even if you have to do it by hand. Just get them warm before the call, is what I'm trying to say. Now, again, some of these tools are actually going to be free, and this is what the Zapier integration looks like again. Just once again, so you can actually just screenshot this on the screen. Hopefully, by the way, the screen is looking okay, because I've got a new monitor. It's like a 49-inch wide monitor. If you haven't seen the video already, I definitely recommend watching that. But guys, hopefully you can see the difference here. Hopefully this helps you guys out. I just want to put this out there because it's a couple of, just a bit of free value, if you will. Not only that, but I know that a lot of people aren't implementing this. And honestly, this can be a really good back-end system. Not only back-end system, but a great way to warm up your calls and a back-end system all in one. Because again, even if the leads don't close, even if you don't close the prospect on the call, you can obviously book in second and third call. But even if you do like 3 calls, for example, and you don't close that prospect, maybe 6 months later, if you keep hitting them with emails and emails and emails and emails, or case studies, updated case studies, proof, and that sort of stuff, you'll actually start building out a really good email list. And as you know, as a lot of people say, the money is in the list, which is actually very true. So guys, hope you've enjoyed this. Make sure you take this and implement this, because it's actually not too hard. You just have to sit down and write like 3, 4, 5 emails out, and you're basically done. And it's set. It's almost like set and forget, pretty much, because you actually just write the emails in MailChimp or MailerLite, and they're basically just sent out to everybody who books in a call with you. That's basically it, and it keeps them warm. Anyway guys, hope you've enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to drop a like, comment, and subscribe. And if you're still interested in enrolling into H-Rotation, the link is below. It is still, at the time of recording this, $797, and obviously that's going up to $997 very, very soon. Anyway guys, that's it for today's video. Hope you've enjoyed this. Again, don't forget to drop a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace.